Hey guys, Mr. Seek here again. I've gone over the T side of our qualifier Mirage game that we lost in heartbreaking fashion, and I've noticed that there are 3 rounds where we make basically the same mistake, and that is we play post plants poorly. So the first round I'm going to talk about, we end up on the A site with man advantage, I believe. Yes, yeah. So SAG gets the opening kill against ecos. So CT side is on full eco. They have PT50s. One has a deagle and armor, whatever. So we were going for the straight execute. The CTs are rushing mid, just like I talked about in the previous video, but interestingly enough. And SAG is just walking up. And he takes fight with the stairs player, wins it. Despite getting dinked, and boom, we throw a smoke spur out. We have the site. Fair enough, I'm the bomb carrier. I go ahead and wait for a second so I don't get spammed through the smoke. That's been happening a lot this half. SAG goes back to check the flank, he smokes it off, and they've got this Mitch character who was on the fast flank. So Mitch and Schlepp were fast flanking. And so here's what's going on now. We're all in the site. I know Talented's in Palace, but I actually consider Palace part of the site, and I'll tell you why. So how I conceptualize the A site on Mirage, there's 3 places that you need to know, or that you need control of in order to hold the site. CT, jungle, and ramp. Now, ideally, you would have 2 out of these 3. It's actually better to have 2 out of 3 than 3 out of 3. Because if you have 3 out of 3, you're spread out too much, and unless everyone has ops, stupid. So unless everyone has ops, you don't want to spread out that thin because you can get traded too easily. So if you have 2 out of 3, that's the good medium, where you can still peek off your teammates, but you're also you also have someone there with you usually. Like if you have 2 connector, then you can also trade if you're rushed. So anyway, I don't consider Palace an integral area to hold because it's actually pretty hard to swing out Palace and get kills. So like if someone taps the bomb and they know you're Palace, it's like you can't really peek very well because at least if you're CT, it's more of a headshot angle. If you're a connector, it's more of a headshot angle. There's also more angles. Anyway, Palace is just such a linear position that it's not really important. So here's where we have a bomb plant and we have everyone in the site. They don't have CT yet, but they're going to shortly. They do have connector and jungle, and now they have ramp. So what's going to happen is we're going to get picked off 1 by 1 until Talented wins the final 1v1 at the end with his Glock. So Talented's watching jungle, he gets crept up on, he dies. Then 8 loses the fight. Oh no, Ferguson's the one who wins the 1v1. Then I lose my 1v1, and then Ferg's left in a 1v2, which he wins with his Glock. So the point of it is, if I was going to give a suggestion, is once we lose ramp control, we have 2 options. We can either, like Seek was here and Ferg was here, so either the 2 of us and 8 was here. So either the 2 or 3 of us, whatever, push ramp and kill anyone ramp and secure that AK, or we take a riskier play and push CT and take any fights with the eco players there. because if we had either ramp or CT, we could eliminate almost all of those 1v1 fights that we had to take as the CTs pushed, as they pushed ramp, palace, and jungle all at the same time. It's actually a very good retake by the other team, but they were on ecos, so it didn't need to be as close as it turned out being. All right, so the next round I want to talk about is the following round, actually, where we do a very similar thing, but on the B site. And this problem, so with the B site, obviously, still there's 3 places you want control over, and that's apps, cat, and market. And what happens in this case is we have cat control, so that's good. We have cat, but we don't have market, and we don't have apartments, and that allows the CTs to pinch us later in the round, even though we had a 3v5 with the site. So here's what happens. I'm going to show me because I entry. So we're walking up. The other team actually has utility, but he's not jump spotting. Luckily for us, he also doesn't molly. Luckily for us. So anyway, we flash out. I get a kill on the catwalk player, and then I get a kill on the market player. And I've got 2 health, so I decide not to fight this guy, which, maybe I could have been more useful if I had pushed market. Because as I was saying earlier, if you control market and apartments, then you're in really good shape. So Sag's got the right idea. Sag is pushing catwalk. So at the moment we have apartments and we have catwalk. We're actually in a great position. So first thing that happens is Talented goes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, Talented goes down. And then Ferguson and 8 are they're both watching it, but we don't actually have control. And because of that, Mitch is able to get the pick on 8, and now it's a 3-on-3, and we are totally spread out. So I have been pushed up market because I was low HP, and I was setting up a crossfire for 8 and Ferg, but so I should have, and I was also kind of trapped because I couldn't fall back without exposing myself to the window, and I didn't want to push the door smoke without any help, although probably at this point we needed to push something. Like Sag had catwalk, but we weren't going to be able to retake apps because you can't really retake apps because you have to jump up on the van, and that jumping exposes you to market. So at this point, you pretty much have to commit to the market fight. So I was left out to dry, and then when 8 died, then Ferg was left out to dry, and we crumble from here. So Sag loses an unfortunate aim duel, and then Ferg, unfortunately, his client doesn't register that CT's tapped the bomb. So maybe if he heard that, maybe he gets the first guy and then kills the other one as they peek him. But even if he wins that round, it's not something that we should be losing. A 3v5 on the B side of Mirage, which is much harder to retake than the A side. So the last round I want to talk about is the last round of the game, where Talented gets 2 picks, spoiler alert, right at the beginning of the round. So we start off going for A control. Actually, no, I was thinking of a different round. That's round 14 where he gets the 2 picks. So we're going for A control. And then I say, I don't like this, we're going back. So there's the smoke here. I hear the op top stairs, don't like it. I don't want to run in, especially because they have been leaning on A. So I say, all right, go back and go mid. And my thinking is if there's an op stairs, then there's probably not an op bottom connector. Or if there's an op stairs, then there's probably there might be an op window, but there's probably no op cap. I'm just trying to keep an eye on where their connector player is. So at this point, they had a gamble rotate where they rotated their mid player all the way up to B, and here we go. Sag gets a kill on the site guy, and then Talented peeks off that and kills the jungle guy. So A plus site take, like 10 out of 10 site take for this round. Any other, we win this round 9.5 times out of 10. So one small mistake is we planted default. Planting triple is always better if you can. In this case, if you could have planted if you planted on the other side of default, that would have been better, because then Sag would have been able to help a little bit more. Anyway, so in this case, we do have, we don't explicitly have ramp control, but we think we have ramp control. Oh, that's also why it's better not to plant for default, because if you plant at triple, then you can watch it from ramp. So maybe then if it was planted triple, I would have been able to fall back ramp, and then I wouldn't die later, as I'll show you. So unfortunately, Sag loses the spray duel. Granted, it was a headshot angle for the other guy. And then when he dies, this Mitch guy is able to push CT because there's a smoke, so I lost my line of sight here. So Mitch is able to get out and walk up the door by Ninja. And neither Ferg nor Talented are in any position to hold off CT at all. So I'm hiding in the corner, and he ends up, look, he spammed me through the box. So he was crouch peeking me and just spraying sandwich. And now they have one guy near the bomb and one guy in connector control. So we have nothing. They know where we are. And he's even got a kit. So Fergie would have had to stay alive for at least 3 more seconds in order to win that 1v1. It was not pretty. So the gist is that even if you have a man advantage, Zag's still running around. Even if you have a man advantage on Mirage, it's still better to have more map control. The site is just not enough. You're gonna need jungle, CT, ramp. You're gonna need at least one of them. And if you lose one, either fight to take it back, or fight somewhere else. And that's where comms come in, because you got to tell your team what you're going to do before you do it, so that maybe someone with utility can say, all right, I'm flashing over ticket booth, or okay, I'm smoking top connector, so when you push jungle, you only have to worry about jungle. You don't have to worry about the connector side. If we fix these things, we easily win 3 more rounds on T side, and that brings us to a 10-round T side instead of a 7-round T side.